I think that's all I have to say.
All right, that means we're on our last call.
All
Okay.
right.
This has nothing to do with this story, number go up, but this is Zeke Fox, and it is about crypto's wild rise and staggering fall. And actually, he has a new chapter that he added. So I have a couple of his books with the first one and this. But why I want to bring this up is I had him on my podcast, and I think he was the first, that was his first podcast he's ever
Oh,
done.
wow.
I have my neighbors that are good friends of mine just heard him on Planet Money, and then he was in the New York Times. So, Frodish had him first, I
There
think.
you are. You knew
Yeah,
him
so
when.
it's great. If you're interested in the crypto sort of scams and everything like that, it's great. Great book.
All right, go ahead and go, Amber.
So mine is don't ever underestimate the power of a VPN. So for me, that is an investigative tool to either have a proxy server or a VPN that you use when you're doing any type of investigation, whether I'm collecting data with OSINT or I'm doing something. And DFIR side, I always make sure I have my go-to VPNs, and it doesn't have to be fancy. Like I use Nord. Nord is a commercial one. It does a great job. It's not crazy
Mhm.
money, but it works. So make sure it works. Do some testing of your own to see what your fingerprint looks like while you're using that VPN. But as I do like cloud data collections, things like that, that is an absolute must. I do not want my IP to be blocked off the face of the earth. That would suck. So,
Mhm.
essential tool, proxy or a VPN.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to send a link for finding jobs in intelligence. Uh, and just, I think I'll say I might put in a couple of different ones because I also had listened to a gal on, she was on LinkedIn and not LinkedIn, I'm so sorry. I mean, I'm sure she is, but I was listening to her on Instagram and her thought process of just, going into work within the corporation was really great because I've spoke with so many people looking for work and how frustrating it is. So I'm going to post up a couple of things to at least try and help some folks out and what to look for, what to look at, what to understand, the process. And, people take it very personally when they don't get back to them. And I don't blame them one bit when that employer doesn't
It's a
do it.
process.
It's just like it's awful. Or here within Silicon Valley, it takes you months to go through the review process, the interview process, and it's it's really sad out there for folks that are looking to get employed.
And
So
So,
a
I
good note for
mentioned,
you. She does really well. Cynthia, you do awesome posting jobs on LinkedIn. So people should connect with you because you always repost some great Intel jobs. I try to share yours as well. I think
oh, thanks.
that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, I do that with all the people I talk to, and I try and think, oh, I remember this person, mine like this. So it's a lot of different.
I talked to a young professional yesterday,
Mhm.
and I threw your name out. And unfortunately, he had a position with a government agency and got whacked like before he
Mm,
even started. And he said he doesn't like LinkedIn. And for what he does, I was like, dude, like he's like, it's just not my thing. And
That's true.
he
I think
wants
it's
me
a
to,
necessity.
yeah, he wants to get into the, fraud and forensic accounting field. And I had all these great ideas, and he's like, yeah, just not my thing. And I was just like, yeah, so I'm not going to introduce you to people
Hmm.
because it's a waste of my time. If you're
Yeah.
not like, I mean, I was actually a bit annoyed. It was a half hour of my time and he just kept saying no. And then I went to
Yeah.
improv last night and, improv is yes and. And I was like, this kid needs to do yes and.
And
Hmm.
no, and I
Hmm.
think that's true. I got asked the other day, I take calls from people that like connect on LinkedIn and they're like, "Would you mind giving me some advice?" I'm like, "All right, I feel that's my obligation now. It's been a good career. Let me share." And she was really nice and she's like, do you have a mentorship program?" And I was like, "Is that a thing?" I did. I had a, oh, I don't know. Do I have to Google this? Is this a thing? And I know I'd never thought about it. And I said, no, but I guess I can do it. And I committed to do it. And I have since reviewed the materials she sent over to me. I've given her input, but she came back with, yes, that's good input. Let me see what I can do to implement it. Because I'm like,
Mhm.
I took the time to go through like her entire business implementation and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And if I'm going to take my time to do that, please don't come back with, no,
Yeah. I
at
was
least
Yeah.
come back with a, I'll look at it and consider it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm
Yeah.
right, but at least look at it and consider it. It was my time. It has
Sure.
value.
And she asked for it.
Yeah, yeah. And she's great. I hope to continue to help her. I introduce her to people in my network, but you're absolutely right, Kelly. I don't want to do it if it's, I don't want to look bad to the network of people I trust.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And if I told my son, if there's no thank you today, there will be no introductions.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
because my son's looking for jobs too, and I was just like, I raised you to say thank you.
Hmm.
absolutely.
It was a half hour of my time.
Yep.
Yeah.
My kids still write handwritten thank you notes to people too. I'm like, you get on
Oh,
that.
look at, oh, well, I'm going to cover this up. It says something inappropriate, but I'm writing a thank you note to my friend where it says, blanket, let's go do some crimes. And it's a thank you note.
Oh, very cute. Very nice.
Yeah, and those mean a lot. I have a lot of them that I
Mhm.
save from different things
Yeah.
that are the handwritten ones that I
It
still have.
matters.
It does. It makes a difference. And when they acknowledge at least that you took the time for
Yeah. I think it's an expression of your time. And I know all those people out there are saying, I don't write by hand with anything. At very least, an email people.
yeah,
An email.
Even a text. I'll even take a text
Sure,
at this
I'll take
yeah,
a
point.
text. I'll modernize to a text. Absolutely.
Yeah.
yeah. I have a kid that I've been trying to help. Oh, I feel so bad for him. He's just having a hard time. And now that if I don't hear from him, I'm asking, how are you? It feels
Like we care, people. We
I'm
care.
getting emotionally involved. He is just so nice and I feel so bad. And it's hard. You just want to help everybody.
Yeah.
But he's very good about always thanking me. I never hesitate to talk to him.
I always joke with people. I said, never be a Regina George, which is from Mean Girls.
Oh,
Don't be a mean girl.
yeah.
There's a lot of those out there, and it's kind of wrong. And
Hmm.
it's you got to be nice, you got to give the time, and you got to respect other professionals that, comment on your post. Hit the freaking like button. It does not kill you.
Yeah.
Don't be a mean girl and be like, "Oh, I'm not going to comment on your niceness, whatever." Mean
Hmm.
girls don't win.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
don't.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah. And mean boys.
Sorry, yeah, and mean boys. It wasn't.
Hmm. Yeah, I've had a few of those.
I have a whole mantra about Regina George. Poor Regina.
Okay, well,
Well,
thanks
make sure
everybody. Yeah.
subscribe to the Ocean Cocktail Portal. Make sure you get your updates right in there.
Yeah, thank you very much. And Kel, you can have the last words.
I can have the last words.
Yeah.
Listen to Frodish too.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah. Listen to Frodish. We are podcast people.
Absolutely.
Thank you
We're
all
all
for
on LinkedIn. I
yeah.
listen to yours, everything. We're
Yeah.
not mean girls.
No, you guys have both been on mine.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So awesome.
Okay, guys.